there, Miss Alisha here. I'm going to show you today how to knit. Now, you might be thinking, knitting, what's the big deal? Well, did you know that knitting is a way to say the craft that you're doing, and it's also a specific type of stitch. So today I'll show you how to do the knit stitch. The goal of knitting is to get the loops that begin on the left side over to the needle on the right side. To do this, we often use a rhyme here at the Handwork Studio that's quite helpful. Now, each of these lines in the rhyme also goes with a movement for knitting. So here's how the rhyme goes. In through the front door, run around the back, peek through the window, and off jumps Jack. So now what I'll do is I'll show you each of those movements with my knitting. So I want to hold both of my needles in both hands, left and right, and you just want to hold them loosely. You don't want to hold them too tight. And if you notice, I'm holding them pretty close to the tips of my needle. I'm going to start with the needle in my right hand. I'm going to slide it just into that first stitch. So now my needles are crisscrossing. You can see that this is the first stitch here, that first loop. And now that's my in through the front door part of the rhyme. Now I'm going to take a piece of yarn that's attached to the ball, and I'm going to bring it behind that first needle. So it's going to go behind just like that. So that is run around the back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly hold my yarn with my pointer finger, and I'm just going to slowly and gently slide my needle forward until I peek underneath. So that part, can you guess what it is? Peek through the window. And so now what I'm going to do is slide this right off like that, and that's out jumps Jack. So let's do it again. We're going to go in through the front door, run around the back, peek through the window, off jumps Jack. In through the front door, run around the back, peek through the window, off jumps Jack. In through the front door, run around the back, peek through the window, off jumps Jack. So now I've completed a row of 4 stitches. Can you guess what I'll do now? I'm going to switch hands. So when you knit, you just keep repeating the same movements over and over again. So now I'm just going to repeat. I have my no loops in the right hand, so I just bring that needle through, yarn around, peek through the window, off jumps Jack. And so you do this until you have a piece that's as long or as short as you want it to be. It just depends on what you're making. Something else that's important for you to remember is that as you're bringing your stitches from one needle to the other, you don't want to pull it apart too roughly. So sometimes you feel like once you've gotten your stitch all done and you've peeked through the window, you've run around the back, and you're here, you feel like you want to go like that. Do you see how my stitches stretch? You don't want that, because what happens is you make a hole in your knitting. You just want to try and keep them as close together as you can. They're best friends, so you kind of want them to hang out. So just in through the front door, run around the back, peek through the window, out jumps Jack. You want to be sure to count your stitches as you go along too. Sometimes it's easy to keep an extra Jack on the needle where you don't need them to be. So since I started with 4, I want to make sure that I still have 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have the same number that I began with. So now I'm just going to keep on knitting until I have this as long as I like. In through the front door, run around the back, peek through the window, off jumps Jack.